Welcome to Chaos and Conversations, a podcast about chaos and conversations.
This is episode 2. We had a pilot. Oh, well, I guess it's episode one.
Number one, pilot never happened. It
did.
It happened, but we're not going to release that one.
But it did. The very first.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, pilot.
The pilot episode.
The
one that they bullied us into.
That's still 0. That's pilot 0. This is episode 1.
Yeah, okay. So we have pilot and this is episode 1.
Yeah.
So welcome to episode 1.
We also shot another episode, but
it didn't happen. It was too ADHD and
it was ADHD, and then we were just getting heavy and making all 3 of ourselves depressed.
Yeah, it was great.
But like I said, it had to happen.
Yes, we all had things we had to get off our chest.
Exactly.
But now we're back.
I don't regret that conversation. Mm-hmm. I just
no, it was a good conversation. It just isn't something we can publish.
Not for our vibe, at least.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah.
So what's the vibe? Explain the vibe.
The vibe is chaos, and we're gonna have.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna have some talks.
Thank you. We will be using words.
This is really just sibling time. So this is without specific topic necessarily. So we won't be following a theme throughout. We will be meandering wherever the brain takes us, and that will be
just like a conversation between two people that happen in front of a camera.
With ADHD.
I don't have ADHD. I have 4K.
HD.
Well, it's UHD. Ultra high def. That's what they call it.
Okay.
So it'd be ultra hyper
what
dysfunction.
Is you in
You have 4K ultra high definition.
I was like, what is you in the like letter system?
Yeah, it's you. It's you.
It's you.
It stands for you.
I have 80 of them. He has you.
I have you. I have you.
Unlimited.
Unlimited you.
Hyper dysfunction.
Just keep watching. I have you. If you're watching,
it's gonna get
I have
better.
You.
If you don't know, we are siblings.
I'm just
absorb that.
So, like, when you change a printer, sometimes the ink doesn't come out all at once. You have to do like the header cleaning, and then you have to do like the
toner.
Right. So the first one kind of comes out pale. That's what happened here. I came out first, and then the rest came out dark.
Yeah. Well, we also had a different cartridge mother printer.
Why can't we just be siblings? Why do you guys got to remind me that we're half siblings? You're always like,
okay, but I like your mom.
Good for you. Someone has to. I love my mom. I absolutely adore my mom. She's great.
So I like to remind everyone that you didn't come from the same bad place. Being that.
Yeah, but you make it sound like we were estranged until adulthood, which kind of we were, but
no, we
at least lived within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah. Well, when we hung out as much as we were allowed to.
Yeah, so like it just the way you make it sound is like, oh, he wasn't there for any of that shit.
No,
I was there for that.
He just has a different mother.
I had a different start.
Yeah.
Yeah. My spawn point was different.
We had to wander the map to get together, and then we went adventuring.
And then we met in Nebraska.
And then I got an arrow in the knee.
One of us tells lies and one of us tells truths. Was it the arrow thing or was it the Nebraska
thing? There is no Nebraska. No, I'm just kidding.
There's no.
Yes, we met in Nebraska again when I was like 4.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Not even again.
And I was beat up by pavement.
Yeah, your face was all bruised.
Yeah.
And you had a cast on.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to go to anything.
Yeah.
So like this is. I can say this. It's okay to share your story, Chris. It's not judgment.
No.
It's just there's a block there. There's me
I know.
trying to be nice
about it. Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like I won't be specific about things. But
no, but you get you understand.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw you was when I went to go get Lori from the motel room because we were all in the motel together.
Yeah.
And I went to get Lori to go play with the arcade machine at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
And then like you ran out from behind a bed. And I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
And then you disappeared.
Yep.
And then I think I saw you like 2 days after that.
I'm pretty sure I locked myself in a bathroom in that motel. And that was traumatic. Like I remember the upset.
Yeah.
Of not being able to get out of that bathroom.
God.
That was special. I was like 4 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a weird story. You met your sister when? Oh, when she was 4 years old in Nebraska.
None of us lived in Nebraska either.
No, we didn't.
Mm-mm.
Had to have a family reunion to get to see family. Sarah was alive, right? Sarah was a baby, but it was pre-Benj.
She would have been about a year and a half, 2 years old ish.
So maybe Benj was on the way.
Yeah, ish maybe.
Yeah,
She might have been pregnant with Bug.
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't even know.
I don't remember, man.
Oh, mother.
Did it leak at all?
It leaked onto things.
Why am I such a hot mess?
Well, at least you have self-esteem, right? These are things I don't get to say to everyone else. These are things I don't get to spew to other people. So, the like things I think, and I'm like, if I said that, everyone would get really pissed off at me,
But I think it's funny.
right?
Which is actually part of why I'm really good at working with my kids. Is because they will say the most like out of pocket shit. And then I laugh.
Well, yeah,
And then they're like, cool. And then we all move on.
that's where we reside. Is in that.
yes.
It's so bad
There's
that
some kind of it's mean, it's funny.
so bad that my 10-year-old now, 10 years old, asks me how I do it without laughing. He's like,
Really?
how do you do that? You say the weirdest things and you keep a straight face. Like, yeah,
Practice. Practice.
Yeah.
Happen to be part of the practice. All right, let me get back into some kind of. Sorry, friends. Ah. We're good. Are we?
I know. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
And we're back.
And we're back. And everything's okay.
And see, the fun thing is
don't
because
worry.
this is the like chill podcast, I can edit fun things into that. Like
Oh,
Benny Hill music.
God.
Or like I could do like a crash sound effect and zoom in and then like put a pause. I could do whatever I want. Who knows what I did? You guys do. I don't.
I
It's
don't
not
either.
fair.
It's fine.
Dude,
Figure it out in like
I'm
a week.
so intimidated now by working with Welcome Home
Yeah?
for their editing,
Oh, don't be.
because like Austin's a really good editor. I went through all
you
of their TikToks.
Pick
and,
things up like nothing.
well, I
Like,
caught myself
you
doing
and my
that.
husband are very much the same
I
way.
caught myself doing that.
Mhm.
Like I already, when I first followed them, I was trying to figure out the model, like how it
yeah,
functioned.
like the vibe. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get it, understand. And then what I was doing last night is I was going through the TikToks just to see like what kind of things they've been posting
Right.
and what they'll probably ask me to help them with.
You'll have to show
Oh
me.
my god, some of them are they're
Are they?
really good in that like it's stuff that I wouldn't think to put in, like shape movement. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
random stuff to fill and grab attention.
Yeah.
Stuff that I can easily mimic
Yes.
until I've built that
Yeah.
skill set. But I was breaking
don't worry
the
about it at all.
I was breaking the TikToks down like, okay, so this one is a more personality based one, this one's a merch based one.
Yeah.
This is how they approach it, like
right.
tearing it apart.
No, it's great.
It's intimidating, but I'm still confident I can do it,
yes.
which is weird that I
think it'll
actually
be really fun.
have confidence in a skill set.
Isn't that bizarre? When you're like, oh shit, I can do stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All of the things I've told myself for years are lies. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it'll be fun and you'll like it and you'll be great at it. And they will be shocked and surprised and adore you even more than they already do, which is a lot.
Still have that comment that was said like forever ago stuck in my head.
Which one?
It was just an offhand comment that Zach was making because he helps moderate.
Yeah.
And he said, remember, everybody should join the Discord.
Yeah.
Most of the people in chat right now are in there because it was like slower.
Right.
And then he was like, and Toph is even in there, and that's a big deal. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's not a big deal.
That's cute.
I'm a little deal.
They're
I'm
cute.
just a baby.
They're just cute. Go check them out if you like Pokemon or if you
Oh.
just like chill time.
I'll tell them the story about that box that I sent.
Oh, yes.
And then I can plug them at the same time. Oh my God. Proud Dad.
Yeah.
Remember the guy whose birthday it was? He was doing his nightly stream last night and I got on and he was signing off. So I just spammed a bunch of roses because I had like 5 cents in the
Cute.
account. It was like,
Yeah.
he was like, oh my God, Toph, you made it last second. And then he was like, everybody, Toph has a podcast that I watched.
Aw.
And I panicked.
Did
I was
he like it? Or was he just like,
And
I watched?
he was like, it's pretty good actually. Like he wasn't being derogatory at all.
Yeah.
He was genuinely like, no, it's pretty
Not
good.
what he expected, but actually enjoyable. Yeah.
That's the vibe because
Yeah.
he's religious.
Okay.
And we don't come from that.
Right.
We have
well, I mean, we come from that, but
yes,
Yeah.
we don't present our stuff through that lens.
yes.
Um,
Our lens is very different
Right.
for the world and how it works.
so my initial reaction when he said that was, oh my God, I use bad language.
I
And
use bad language.
and I say the craziest things.
I use worse language. I'm the bigger cusser out of the two of us. Let's be real.
Didn't start that way. Take it from the guy who edited season one.
Okay, all right.
It was
That was because season one was
me.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Season one was so scary because it was like speaking to empty space. It was so weird
Yeah.
until we knew people were watching,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were like, all right, we can talk to people.
It's weird because I for years tried to do like content in general,
Yeah.
like video content creation, and I never could look at the camera.
Right.
It was always awkward and
Yeah.
weird, and I got weirdly
I
judged.
can speak
and
to a mirror or a screen.
that's a little different though, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
so like building that. Then like I've done live streams. I've been streaming on Twitch for like a
Mhm.
year. I've did a YouTube channel, but we didn't do face cam.
Yeah.
So that was like the safety
Right.
barrier
Yeah.
to get started, I guess.
I just know I'm insane, and then I'm like, all right, y'all are gonna find out.
That's
and it'll be fine.
literally the attitude we came into it with.
Yeah.
We were like, it's season one. We can do whatever we want.
we can do.
Actually, season 3 was we
Yeah.
can do whatever we want, but we started with that. It doesn't matter.
Stringent rules.
We're gonna find people that like it.
Yeah.
And there are gonna be people that don't.
Well, at the beginning, we didn't even think anybody was going to watch it.
Yeah.
We were like, this is just a thing we're doing for us, and
Mhm.
that's how it went. It was fine. And ow, Evan, God, why?
Evan is her face snake. It's a face pain because she has a nerve issue.
Oh, he's so mean.
It causes random horrible pain in her face, random parts of her face, at random times, from random lengths.
Yes. Owie. It's like really bad bone pain.
See, that felt natural. Remember how like in the podcast we were talking about, I don't know how
Okay.
to like do that without dissing you or singing me. Like
Diss me, do it.
not, but you know,
I know.
like be disrespectful. Like it feels weird to talk over you, but
Yeah.
to like narrate as it's happening
Please
feels
do,
perfectly
because
fine.
otherwise it's confusing for everyone, because I can't be like, I'm in agony. Let me explain this to you.
Oh yeah, for everyone who's only seen this episode or this
Or the
series,
other episode.
we have a
that's like
podcast
this.
that we've been doing for years called Fantastic Pains. It's about
And how we have
chronic illnesses, and it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So if you have friends that are in that world or you're curious about it, go check that out.
Right.
It's up
Or
there
if
now.
you just want to join the party, we talk about mental illness. We talked a lot about just the experience of
Really, it's like mental health,
trauma.
medical trauma, medical
Yeah.
navigation, like how to approach
Yeah.
things in the medical world. It's a bigger than we
Well,
started
and
with.
just like living with it day to day too.
Yeah, man.
Like what our experiences are.
Yeah, but that's what we're
But
talking
that's
about.
the lens that we approach the world through.
Yeah.
And so it will bleed into this
Okay,
one.
I gotta tell the box story so I can plug.
Yes, blocks.
Because I want to plug.
Blocks.
I want to plug
Blocks, go.
blocks. So, I've been on TikTok. There are these things called energy breaks. They're not
Yes.
new. They've been doing them in card shops for years, but
Right.
I've never done one.
Yeah.
And then I decided that one night I
It's
was
like
watching.
gambling, but for collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, not any more than it already is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like booster packs are just random,
Yeah.
and it's kid gambling.
Yes.
What's funny is my kids are aware of it, and I didn't teach them that.
Oh, really?
They came to me with that. They were like, "So it's like gambling," and I was like,
They're funny. It's
Yeah.
because they have much more context than other people their age.
"They do." Anyways,
There's that
back on
context again.
back onto it. So I've been hanging out in this one channel specifically, Welcome Home Cards, and they do Pokemon cards and
Yeah.
breaks and talk the collection and all that fun stuff.
And they're adorable.
They remind us of us,
Yeah.
like the
Only
way they.
sweeter.
Yes, we're like
More
spicy.
innocent.
We're jaded and spicy. It's like
They're like,
the difference between the Powerpuff Girls and the Powerpuff Boys,
there you go. Okay.
because the Powerpuff Boys were just as good. They were just rowdy and rambunctious. And,
Yeah.
you know. But I've been doing that, and I did my first energy break with them, and then I got to talking to one of the guys on the team, and he was like, you know, if you ever want to, they were looking for a card specifically, and I was like, oh, I
Yes.
have one of those that I don't need if you want it.
Yeah.
And so I mailed it out, and that started this whole back and forth, and then I sent him a link to
Well, you joined their
list.
Discord.
Yeah, I joined the Discord.
Yeah.
And then they modded me.
Mhm.
They modded a bunch of other people too,
Yeah.
like for a little team.
You're like, I'm not special. I'm not special. I'm not special. Continue.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
Break it down.
Let me just call you out.
Yeah, in front of everyone. And then I made a big list of things that I'm like, these are all things that I can part with.
Yeah.
And he wrote up this whole list, and it's like a long list. It was a lot of cards and a lot of value.
Yes.
And he sent me packages so that I could send it back to them.
Mhm.
And I organized them all, made sure they're there, took pictures of everything first, just so that everything's above board.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
he's not like he was
Receipts.
asking, but I was like, just to be safe.
Right.
And then I packaged it all up and I sent it out. And then the next morning, so I'd been up all night
Yes.
the night before because I don't sleep well. And I was doing stuff to occupy my brain. And the next morning I come down and I start going through stuff. And this is after Jen had already sent the other box. And I'm
Right.
like, what? I had 2 of these, and start going through this box, this like little energy box. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. This is the stuff I was supposed to send out.
No.
And so I look around and I start opening all the little ETB boxes I have. And it turns out that I had sent
Oh no.
a
The
box
same thing.
of doubles that I had.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to take them to Meh, and then I was going to trade them in for like in-store
Yeah.
value or something. Because these were extras, but I sent
Right.
them that, and there's nothing valuable in them extras.
Oh,
Nothing really
no.
valuable. So I ended up accidentally sending that out.
Whoops.
And then I had to message him and be like, so I'm going to need a second.
I need
Label?
a new box.
Well, I had a box.
Okay.
Thankfully, I found one in the office.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, I need a new label because I might have sent you. I don't know what it was. I wasn't sure what I had sent at the time. I just
Yeah.
I sent you a box full of something. Don't know.
That just sounds ominous.
Right. And so I get that. I get the right cards, box it up, and then you sent it out yesterday for me.
Yes.
And they get the mystery box today, and I'm curious to see what's in the mystery box. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure it's extras,
Uh-huh.
but it might be like, I have no idea.
It's just a box they sent to you already.
Right, and it just feels heavy. Like
Yeah.
it felt like it was weighed down by something. So I was like, this is it.
Oops.
We'll see.
Yeah. But yes, check them out if you enjoy Pokemon.
On
And
TikTok,
good people. They're wonderful.
I'll put a link below to they have a website and they have TikTok because
I know Pokemon and they're adorable and really fun to just listen to.
yeah, great community.
Really cute.
They're
And,
building one.
Wholesome. Really wholesome. They're
Yeah.
sweet. Which I like. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Like they're not so in it like you know how other TikTok lives are where it's like boom 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 boom
Oh,
boom boom
God,
boom.
dude.
They're talking to everybody and they
Yeah.
know everybody by name.
Well, they're
and
not. Okay, so there are three types of streams I've noticed for Pokemon cards. There's the
Yeah.
ones that are business.
Yes.
Like they go into it. They're like, we're gonna get like a giant cargo shipment of cards at a discount because it's a cargo shipment, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna sell them for a little bit less, and then we'll make money. But we got to open those packs quick. We got to get through it. You know.
Yeah.
So they're like opening shit and they're setting it out, and then they're like barely looking at chat, and
Yeah.
they don't
Right.
take it. They take it seriously. Like
Too
there's a
serious.
quota.
I don't want this.
And then you have the other type that is like kind of like chill.
Mhm.
These people are like in it to do. They're trying to make money, but they're trying to make it like a Zen experience. They're trying
Yeah.
to be the calming.
Oh, it's like the ASMRs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a one big ASMR streamer that I think of that does that.
Mhm.
And then there's what they do, which is just they like opening cards for people. They love
Yeah.
opening cards. They get to do it this way.
Right.
They get to open some too because they're still making some money off of
Yeah.
it, and then they get to have fun with people.
It's just sweet. Yes.
It's like
they're good. They're lovely. Check
people
them out.
always come in and they're like, "Wow, I really like it in this
Yeah.
chat. We're gonna hang out."
They're
Like,
cute. There's never anything that's like that's concerning.
no,
No. They're nice.
no, they're very nice. And then
But yeah.
what was I gonna say? There was one more thing, but it's gone.
Yeah.
The-
What was the thing that you were gonna talk about?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know.
So,
Oh, he didn't even have to look where he wrote it down.
no, I remember. I'm on the 20 millivanilligrams.
Milli Vanilli.
Anyway,
Continue.
I had to do it. Like the whole thing was playing out in my head,
Yeah.
and I was like,
So I'm on alcohol.
yeah. I was going through cards yesterday, and I was sorting because I changed the way I wanted them sorted.
Oh yeah.
Because I went from like bindering them, like keeping all the rares in a thing and keeping all the ultra rares in a different, and I went from that to doing master sets, which is getting one of every.
Oh yeah.
In the whole set, and then pitting them aside and their own binders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had to undo some binder, and then I had to I was sorting stuff. I did it from 4 a.m. till 12 in the afternoon, and then I got up and I sat down and I was like, God, I feel beat. And in my head, I'm like beating myself up for being like, God, you can't even handle sitting there for like a little bit to get this done.
A little bit.
And then I'm going up the stairs like
6 hours.
Yeah, I worked an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
I worked. And then I was like I was proud of myself because I was like, oh, give yourself credit. You actually, you're doing what would be considered a job.
Yeah.
You're putting in the amount of effort and time. Like, it's okay to feel tired right now.
Right.
And you need to give yourself credit for actually being able to do that. I was
Good,
like,
I'm glad.
Interesting. Because it's like,
you're like, what is this healthy thought that has
like,
occurred to me?
Isn't that an ADHD thing where like you discount your hobby time?
Yeah.
And
as productive, like
right,
you're like that wasn't productive. That
or when
was
they talk
a waste
about
of my
how
time.
gamers are not unable to focus, they can focus for something.
Oh my
for
God!
hours.
And communication.
Yes,
that one bothers me a lot. Like, oh, they don't know how to communicate. Are you kidding me? Have you listened to the chat? They know how to communicate. They're in it.
But that's obviously I had that moment where it's like, good on you for giving yourself credit for something.
Yeah.
Because I came back and did more after that.
Nice.
And you saw the desk today. Like,
I did. That was a lot.
That was the binder that I have to go through and make sure there's nothing like super valuable in it.
Right.
And then I'm gonna turn that into one of my first master sets because I've
Okay.
almost master setted 151.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes. I'm excited.
Dang. That's a lot. But yeah, like those weird healthy thoughts occur and then your brain's like
Well, they occur more and more nowadays.
Isn't that so weird though? It's so weird.
Proof that we're doing good on the other podcast.
Yes.
We're like healing and we're learning and we're like growing with people.
Holding ourselves accountable.
Dude, the live we had the other day was amazing.
Oh, I loved that. That was so much fun.
We had so many people in.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both were very packed.
They were both really fun.
Yeah.
And it was just getting to see certain people interact with other people was just great.
Yes. There are pairings that are just the funnest.
Because like we talk about like Welcome Home and their whole setup, but ours is we say we don't have parasocial relationships. We have relationships. We have social relationships with people who we adore, and having the ability to have people reach out and just be like, "Hey, can we chat? Like, what's going on? Let's open the door to community." And that is a very strange thing to give credit for too.
Yeah, hold on to that thought. Just because I'm going to throw a tangent out, but I don't want to go. I don't explore it. I had to say it.
Okay.
I just had the craziest deja vu dream feel.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and I remember when this dream happened, it would have been like 2 years ago.
Weird.
And it was us sitting just like this with the notebook right there, having this conversation.
Because this setup didn't exist until
it
like
wouldn't have even crossed my mind
2-3 months ago.
Have it in this room.
Wow.
It's weird, right?
Brains are weird. Brains are very weird.
Anyways, you were saying.
I was just saying
community.
that, like, building that community and then being able to give credit for the work that we've done through the community and with the community and not only holding ourselves accountable, but having them hold us accountable as well.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing with the podcast was like, once we knew people were on the other end, we were like,
took it seriously,
we got to take this really seriously. And it's not like we didn't.
Right.
But it was like, we need to.
We shift our focus from doing it for us and doing it for the fun of it to like, people are, not only are people listening, but they were like, taking things away and enjoying the conversations we were having.
Well, and they were adding so much to it also, which was really cool. So it's just interesting.
Do you remember our first interview we did on Discord?
Oh, yes. That was a while ago.
Wasn't that crazy?
It's been 3 years.
And we haven't had more people on since.
I know. It's been a minute.
Like, we did the Bug and Star episode.
Uh-huh.
We need to get
everybody back on. We talk about that a lot, though. Or like, get them back. We need to summon them. Because some of them are on summer break. So this summer would be good. Fizzy.
That's what I was like. It is June.
Yup. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, you only used me for break, like for June. Why? I'm not token.
You're not, because we're all gay here. Sorry, it's June. That's the only explanation I'm giving for that. I just love
imagining this whole conversation, because if Vizzy said that, it would be as a joke, right? Like Vizzy would be teasing, and then just that's how that would go.
Sorry, it's June.
I love Vizzy.
My bad. I love Vizzy too.
I don't think I'd be where I am without Vizzy.
Yeah.
Like growth wise and like acceptance and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I've worked out a lot of stuff talking with them over the years.
Yeah.
They've been really supportive, and it's just really cool.
And that's part of the value, I think, in finding voices that are like getting out of that echo chamber, right? Like finding value in conversations with people that we may or may not agree with.
Oh yeah.
Or may or may not understand at first.
Okay, so do you ever have this problem? This thing happened where like you want to get to know everything about a person because their perspective is what is really unique to you. Like you want to know how they see things.
Yes. Constantly.
Do you know what happens to me though? I get that way, but only when I'm drunk.
Oh, you're a mere.
I'm like, dude, I'm almost blackout drunk. I need to know everything about your life.
Everything.
And then I get in trouble because like for the longest time, Kaylee would have like really bad anxiety at parties that we would throw, and we would throw like these parties for everybody.
Yeah.
And then I would get lost in the back room with like some of our friends or someone I hadn't seen in a while.
Right.
Or someone
in those
new.
Conversations.
Yeah. Instead of like helping keep Kaylee from melting down, because I would get distracted. I would get stuck in this like 3-hour conversation about what the military was like when they joined up, and then what they're doing currently and their future plans.
Yeah.
And then I remember that shit forever.
That's so funny.
Like it just stays.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm a mere kind of drunk. Like I want to talk.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I want to discuss stuff.
Yeah, I smoke when I'm drunk too.
Exactly.
I don't smoke normally.
Ooh, it's bad. Like I will sit and chain smoke and just speak to people that I've never met before, just because it's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's where the dopamine is in those conversations.
Isn't it funny that that's how our brains are wired though? Like that's the hidden default is like, I need to know you. Let me know about you.
And that leads to things like, I don't know. I think this is a pretty universal neurodivergent experience, especially with the like prevalence of rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Just like that feeling of I like you way more than you like me.
Oh yes.
I want to be friends with you, but way more than you want to be friends with me.
Yeah.
And now I think I'm annoying. And then that seems to be it's just hard because the coolest
I struggled with that for the longest time.
I struggle with it to this day. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this one human that I really enjoy and love to talk to and would love to be around all the time. But then also I'm like a passing thought in their head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened when I first met Vizzy.
Oh, really?
We met at a birthday party for Vizzy's SO at the time. And we talked for like 10 minutes. That was it. But I remembered the day of their birthday. I remember the conversation and what they were talking about, what was going on.
He pulled it out. How
2
long
years later?
Yeah,
we met again 2 years later, and I was like, "Oh, I remember."
It's you.
Like,
you were like,
what caught them off guard is I was like, "Oh, what happened with like your college plan? You were doing this,"
that's cool.
and it was. They were like, "When did we talk?" And I was like, "Birthday party, like 2 years ago. It's fine." But it's that weird, like I latch onto that stuff.
Right.
Unintentionally. It's not like I'm not like trying to like memorize names or shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
it's just like, but that's the stuff that feeds the dopamine. That's
yeah.
how our brains are wired. Our brains are in this super hyper relational space. And that's you know of the like Rattopia experiment, right?
I think about that a lot.
I think about it a lot too. So if you don't know, it was an experiment done to see like addiction and how what its role was.
I need a point of clarification because I think I'm merging two experiments.
Yeah.
Was the overpopulation a result of that experiment, or was okay? So
yeah. So it basically was will rats continue to use an addictive substance? They had like two setups. One was a bear cage with food and water and the drugs and nothing else. Not even a buddy, I don't think. And then the second setup, this might get interesting, hold on. The second setup was Ratopia, right? And
Yeah.
Ratopia was this massive
Idealistic.
setup, huge, so many things to do.
Entertaining.
Right.
Everything was there and available always. They
Yes.
always had food. They always had water. And they always had access to...
New spaces. 'Cause
Right.
there were more rats being born. And
Yeah.
so there was never a problem with like putting them somewhere or like... But they found that in Ratopia, the animals were using the drugs far less than they were in the bear cage, right? And they talk about like, what is our cage, right? But it's just an interesting thing because, and I think about it constantly. I'm like, what is our cage?
Oh, yeah.
This is our cage. We don't have enough enrichment. Everything is like hustle and bustle constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But then the interesting part of Ratopia, and I don't remember what started this tangent, so you're going to have to bring me back around.
Yeah, no worries.
But what wound up happening was, without any kind of challenge, the overpopulation happened, and then the rats decided there was nothing
crumbled.
to live for anymore.
No, it got bad. They started killing each other.
And they stopped eating and drinking, and like it got so weird. So
It's
as soon as the population hit, and it wasn't an unsustainable population either.
No, it was
but
just...
it was just overcrowded. There were too many animals. Everything was readily available. There wasn't any like challenge to anything.
Well, and the difference too, part of it was that the bad side wasn't producing as much too, because they instinctually limited because they had limited resources.
Right.
Whereas when you have unlimited resources, populations exploded.
Yes.
But then, they became more violent too, which is like, and
it's like
there's so much that you can pull from it.
It's so weird. It's like the frustration of was just overwhelming and there was nowhere to put it.
I always think of like
and, like,
anything
aggression.
dystopian, except the only catalyst is like overpopulation, because no one's ever really approached it from that. It's always like virus or an alien invasion or
well, and
some
I've been
catalyst.
saying
It's not just
for
people.
years. I've been saying for years, and especially in the United States, we have this problem where we are not a community, and even our like communities are not communities. We're not a communal people.
Will you write this down real quick?
Yeah.
Community and Harper. Just write that down for me. Because Harper has a whole bunch of stuff on this that I'm sure he would love to talk about. And I would love to have him back and talk about this with him.
That would be amazing. Because this is a subject that I am like...
Yeah.
I find...
We've talked about this before.
It's so frustrating.
The lack of community in society.
Right.
Like, just because you're in a neighborhood doesn't mean that you're in a community.
Exactly. Because we're... Even... Do you know who your neighbors are?
I know we're more of a community, I think, over here.
Yeah, but like...
Well, I mean, and by over here, I mean like the 4 houses in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that tight little sector. We're like, we're pretty tight.
Right. No, but it's this strange phenomenon when there's too many people, we stop seeing each other as people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it comes from, because in like small towns, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no anonymity. And then you get to this overpopulated state where you can't know everybody.
Right.
You cannot. You physically can't. And we're not working in our communities. We're working all over the place.
Right.
Spread out across many different communities.
The way everything's structured, it's like we got to work where we can get the most, but live where we can pay the least.
Yes.
Which is not how you build a community.
Right. Well, and then you look at like drug use, right?
Yeah.
And how that works in our society. And I get that there's a chemical and probably genetic
predisposition,
right, for drug abuse.
Yes.
But I think that the state of our society has a lot to do with it.
Well, yeah. Nobody, I don't think anyone goes out to be an addict, and
no,
I don't think anyone
nobody
that
ever thinks they're going to be, right?
Like even like healthy teenagers who get into drugs, they didn't get into drugs because they were healthy, actually.
Right.
They may have appeared normal, but they're still dealing with shit. They don't have an outlet, or they don't have an inlet for regulation.
Right. Because the thing is that we have needs. If you look at like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have like our base level needs, which is our like food, shelter, water, and space.
And desserts.
Basically.
Don't forget desserts.
And desserts, obviously.
It's on the top.
You need dessert. No, it's on the bottom, remember? important stuff on the bottom
Right, my bad,
first,
my bad.
right? Okay.
Well, no,
And
isn't
then you
it-
have like
No,
your social needs. And that's a whole thing. Like that, it's
Yeah.
a big old chunk of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is our need for community, our
Mhm.
need to be loved, our need to love others, our need to,
no one ever talks about that.
yeah.
Like loving things
Yeah.
and loving people, like
Right.
loving
Well,
people.
And how healing it is.
Yeah.
Like getting a dog, getting a cat is so healing for people because they're able to not only receive love from the animal, but because they are able to put their love someplace.
Yeah. And they'll feel loved in return.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if the cat doesn't ever come to say hi. Some days he'll wait until you're trying to wait for your sister to appear, and he decides that he wants to get up in your face, and not just in your face. He like snuggles under your armpits for a bit, and then he crawls into your face, and then he puts his head up there and makes you kiss him
he
over and
was
over.
So cute. Oh my god. He was like, "Love me now."
But the best part was that it was for kisses. It was for little
That was
forehead
so
kisses.
cute.
So I would go, and then I would stop, and he'd go,
More
Give me
kisses,
more, please.
More kisses, more kisses. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have an innate need for community. We are communal creatures. But when our community gets too big, it devolves. It falls apart
mm-hmm.
because it's not community anymore. It's another cage.
Right. Well, the interesting thing to think about is that, like, the experiment says a lot about the instinct of everything, right? Because
Yeah.
rats aren't rationalizing everything.
Right, exactly.
So I think for us that there's this undertone, like,
Mhm.
that builds in overpopulated areas.
Yeah.
And then they have to come to terms with it without knowing that's what the problem is.
Right.
So they're rationalizing their feelings away. They're rationalizing, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Because they don't understand that it has to do with
Yeah.
like the lack of community, the lack
Yeah.
of support or love, or
Right.
like, you know what I mean?
Community is it's so needed. And we don't know it is because, especially in the United States, and I know there are other countries like this where we're really big on that like individualism.
Mhm.
But then that individualism leaves us out in the cold going, I'm special.
That's where labels go wrong, I think.
Yeah.
That's when like
when they become tools of separation.
yeah. And then they also get used as a way to fill the gap in your life that's not
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
Where it's like where you get the like really toxic Karens of the community, the ones that are
Mhm.
like let's say even in the gay community, right?
Yeah.
There are people that will join and then be like shoving the gay agenda down everyone's throat because the agenda. They need
Yeah.
to feel like they are the community. Like
Right. Well, and then you
They're grasping
identify
for it.
as the community
Right.
because that's all you know how to hold on to.
right.
Yeah.
But with anything, any community, that's what I've always worried about with ours.
Mhm.
And it's never happened.
No.
But like I've always worried that we'll get someone who comes in that just
Yeah.
melts everything to the ground.
Right. Well, and I really want to say just first off and in general, I just really, really appreciate our community simply for the fact of they give us new things to think about, new ways to think about things.
I feel like
They
that's
correct
why,
us when we go wrong. They ask us to explain things if they're not quite sure what we were trying to say there. Like there's a lot more communication that happens
Yeah.
in the area of like, let's see if we can understand each other and not just one way.
that's what I think they also get out of it too, is that
I would hope so.
because they
Like I hope
they still
know
they
that-
converse among themselves, and
Yeah.
even during the lives we'll just sit back sometimes and let people talk to
Right.
each other. But
that's fun.
so there's that, and then there's I also don't handle criticism. I just don't.
Mm.
So being wrong, at least like pre-30s me would have not, that would have
Oh,
been a
yeah.
spiral, right? Like
Right.
that would have been horrible
Right.
to be wrong
Mhm.
about something, and
And you're like, we got to shut it down.
in a way that
we're
is kind of
canceling
permanent.
ourselves.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yes.
It would have been a learning experience, and
Yeah.
the lesson wouldn't be you were wrong about the topic.
Right.
You were wrong to talk about something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you shut up. You have no business
Right.
speaking about it. Yeah.
But our community doesn't do that to me. Like if
No.
if they're like, oh, actually this, we're like, oh
Right.
shit, you're right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Always
And-
please call us out. Ask us questions.
Well, and they do it in such a nice way. They understand that we just
appreciate it.
that we're open to it. I
Yeah.
guess they
Well,
know
because
that.
it's not about getting in there to be like, oh, you were wrong. It's like,
Right.
hey, actually, you were saying this, but I know these things out of blah 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 blah, and we're like, oh shit, awesome. I'm glad that you were able to let us know, because we don't ever want to get caught up in that feedback loop.
Right.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
that's when the community breaks down and it's no more. because then it is a community for the sake of the label,
Right.
if that makes any sense.
No, it's cloud. It's
Yeah, right. But I think,
or echo chamber,
mm-hmm.
where like I'm here to get reaffirmed about all my horrible thoughts.
Yes.
Tell me I'm right. No.
Yeah, and give me excuses to hate other people.
Well, I think the two big things for me that I'm excited about, and I have been about the community, is that they get stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Which reaffirms me and you, because oh,
like,
I didn't know that. I
on
never
the
thought of
right
it that
track.
way.
Uh-huh.
Or like you gave me something to think about is a big one. I love when people say that.
I love that. Yeah.
And then they come back and then they say it, and then we usually get on incorrect.
Yeah.
Or we
Usually it happens through the lives.
I was gonna say
a lot of it
people
comes
should
through
join the lives because there's a lot of stuff that we work through in a way.
Yes.
By talking it out with people. So.
Right. Well, and one of my favorite things in the lives is when somebody comes to the live and they're like, "Hey, I have this going on in my life," and then the entire community who is like on the live, right?
Yeah.
The people who are participating get to jump in and be like, "Oh, I can support you this way," or "Oh, check these things out. These are resources for exactly that." Like, it's just
so great.
So beautiful to see.
It's way beyond what we planned, but what we had wished for.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And it has a life of its own. Like, it's a weird thing. I don't think I could ever take credit for building our community. No. It built itself. It built itself.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
the podcast built itself, and it changes whenever it wants to, and then we just are the servants of the podcast, which is a weird thing in and of itself.
Yeah, we let it grow into its own thing.
Yeah. But even just thinking about a couple of years ago, how angry and how alone we felt because people are just islands out here until you find like, oh, that's a label that I can glue myself to try to find that community.
It just took us complaining about everything.
Yes.
For like 6 months.
And being totally honest about everything because this is my favorite story, so I'm going to tell it again. Sorry. There was one time where my therapist was like, because we were talking about masking. She was like, okay, so what's your mask on the podcast? And I was like, there isn't one. That is the most me you're ever going to get is me on the podcast because it's safe. And more than being safe, it's challenging in a really engaging way.
Yes.
And it's safe to learn, I guess. It's not safe as in like, oh, everything's reaffirmed. It's safe as in
It's safe to be wrong.
Yes.
It's safe to be right. It's safe.
Yeah.
Like to
just say what you need to say and talk through what
I've been able to become more myself through it. Like I'm way more comfortable being who I am than I ever was before the podcast.
Isn't that so interesting? It's so bizarre. Having a self-esteem. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It just is. It's so bizarre. And it's what we're all looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bums me out about our current situation in life as a whole.
I was like, what? The podcast?
No.
Podcast
it's just
number
like
2? Numero 2?
Humans going through the world trying not to be islands.
Don't rap. Don't
do it.
rap.
Do
Don't
it.
rap.
Do it.
Okay. You know.
When did we start? Do you know?
Yeah, we still have like 20 minutes.
You were looking. I was like, do we need to start?
No. We got like 20 minutes.
But I'm enjoying this too. I'm having fun. Let's keep going.
This is an open format.
Sweet.
We're learning. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
This is the we can do whatever we want of chaotic conversations.
There you go. What do you think the most valuable thing you have learned and applied since beginning the podcast as a whole is?
It's interesting because like my brain doesn't want to answer something introspective.
Right.
I want to be like, I learned something about people, but I haven't really.
Yeah.
Other than not being as alone. But no, there's I don't know. There's so much growth that I can't pick things.
Right.
And there's so much stuff that I still haven't noticed has changed, if that makes sense. Like I'm still noticing things as they happen.
Right.
Biggest thing. I feel like there is a biggest thing.
I think for me, one of the biggest things, and this might give you an idea unless you have one.
No, go for it.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned was that it is okay to put yourself out there. It can be safe.
Yes.
because trauma brain wants to apply a blanket statement to everything,
Right.
where everything is unsafe and all people are out to
Self-isolate.
hurt you. And yeah.
The only
and
safe place to not
avoid
play.
And yeah, exactly. So
That's
at least personally, that
No,
was
that's
something
it.
that is huge.
because just now I'm realizing that that's the thing, because like I never talked in forums or on chats
Yeah.
or to random people before. I only met Austin
Yeah.
randomly in a raid that Jen set up because I couldn't set up a raid with other people by myself. That was too
I
much
was
socially.
terrified of people.
So like I would barely talk during like the raids and stuff. There's just this guy that was fucking funny as hell, making little comments in the background, and then we would you kind of build that like temporary camaraderie,
Right.
you know, and then we just kind of build on that,
Yeah, it's like meeting a friend at the park,
right?
where you're like, I love this person, and then you never meet again. No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Like instant connection.
because I couldn't go out.
Yeah.
I wasn't like this is what bothers me. It's like not agoraphobia. I was fine.
Right.
And I'm not bad at social situations either. I'm really
No.
socially aware.
But with a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to be a person that fit this person's view.
Idea of you.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like crafting that certain image that works, and it's never like the same thing. It's like
Right.
this guy prefers people who are more aggressive and funny. This guy prefers quiet, laid out back types, and
Right.
you fill that void.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like
You're you, and it's great.
it's really weird
Yeah.
to think about.
Isn't that it's just interesting. And like, because yeah, people were unsafe before. People were really unsafe before, and I was angry at the world because people were unsafe, and
Right.
I didn't know it at the time, but I was deeply craving that community and that sense of just camaraderie and not oneness necessarily,
Right,
but
no.
a space where everybody can be who they are.
Yes.
Because I couldn't find it anywhere else.
We also have so much
We also
trauma that's related to that.
Yes. Well, and it made it hard to look.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, like learning about all of that. And then something else that was huge for me was my like learning to use labels as tools and not
I
having
still
them be a
love that
threat.
episode so much.
I know, it was so good. It was great. Like, oh,
because I walked away
Oh.
learning things
yeah.
that like I don't know, man. It was so good to.
Because I was so anti-label. I was like,
It was
I don't
such
want
a shift
to be
for you.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a set of words. I wanted to be me without having to define myself.
Right, and I was at the point where I was trying to define myself as something,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to because labels
Right.
were scary.
Yes.
Like, it's like reaching
ish,
for a tool that
everything
you
was
want.
Ish.
Like you want it and you need it, but you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like being able to go, labels are a tool to help people understand you.
Yeah. That's enormous. And now, instead of like the threat of collecting labels, it's like, oh, these are all aspects of who I am.
Right.
But I am me altogether.
Context matters.
Yeah, there you go.
Check out our episode, came out yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a day late. Jen didn't remember the thumbnails.
That's
and I forgot
okay.
about the thumbnails.
I was
So,
listening to it this morning. It's pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
That one was good.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't mean to like plug our whole podcast through this episode, but we don't get to talk about it
Not like
a
that.
lot. But because
Not in that
it
sense.
is crazy to look back at who we were.
Yeah.
And how angry we were at the world and how
Well, I'm sure people can relate to that.
yeah.
Like even you might be there right now. You may unintentionally be very angry and not realize it because we didn't.
yeah. No.
We didn't know until like 2 years in,
Oh yeah.
and we went back and watched season
we
one.
were
We
like,
were like,
oh,
we are so
they
aggressive,
mad.
like about everything. Like it's not. We didn't walk around like with a chip on our shoulder, but like
No, but we were so
taking jabs
angry.
anywhere there was like a weakness in a thing, like an idea. We were like,
Yes.
no, like
and fuck that.
literally.
Yeah.
We were so aggressive about
We were
things.
so angry because it really was. We started out and we were like, "This is who we are. I don't care what you think."
Well, we needed
But we
to do that.
expected people to be like, "I hate who you are," and then have to defend it.
We thought that the order was going to be deal with hate
Mhm.
and find the 1 in a million that joins and then
Yes.
understands. What
Yeah.
ended up happening was people that just joined were like, they found
Yeah.
us. They were like, I was looking for this specific thing and you guys do a great job of talking about it. So,
which is cool.
Yeah.
Well, the other, like, I don't know. I've learned so much about myself as a whole. And one of the things that I learned and am now able to accept is that I'm good at the words.
yeah.
I'm good at the words. And now I can use it in my, like, workplace without freaking out and having a panic attack and being like,
So
never mind, don't listen to anything
what-
I have said. Goodbye.
I was waiting for you to get done with what you were talking about so I could talk about the
Yeah.
thing that I've chosen as the biggest.
I thought that what? Okay, go.
No, but it's what you're saying now. You're taking
Oh.
it again. That, like, I have a skill set
Yes.
that I am confident in
Isn't that? Oh, it's weird.
that, like, public speaking could never have done it before. Now, it wouldn't have phased it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get, like, panicked at the idea of getting in front of a group
Yeah.
or performing in front of a group or, like,
Right.
talking to people in a group setting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, editing and stuff too. Like,
Mhm.
having that confidence to be like, yeah, no, I could totally do this.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's not who I was before.
God. Yeah. Well, and who we were was just like I had no concept of self-perception
Oh, yeah, no. That's been a
almost
big one
at
too,
all.
right?
I was like, I was too afraid to perceive me
Yeah.
because I might be wrong.
I had that too, to a degree. Like, I had this image of me that was very distorted in not nice ways.
Yeah.
It was like people would say nice things about me, and I'd be like, that's just because I let you see that part. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking
That's just me acting that way.
right. Or like the idea that we snowed everyone all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, because the doctors and the
Yeah.
Bro. Talk about imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Well, and then just being able to work with the labels in a productive way and being able to explore the different aspects of who we are
Yeah.
without shame and without having to without the pressure to
In a
pick
weird-
one.
It makes no sense that what you're saying. You're saying to
Hmm.
me, hey, we did a podcast, and because we did the podcast, I am comfortable doing all these things in front of people.
Mhm.
Which means that we started without that, which means that we basically just threw ourselves to the wolves.
We did, and we were expecting there to be wolves.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that is not the way a therapist would tell you to heal.
No.
They wouldn't be like, oh, you want to, like, grow?
baby steps. And
All
we're
those
like,
things that you're scared of, go do them
No.
all at once. and post it, make sure it's public as hell.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Well, that was one of the weirdest parts of like early days was talking about, and I still kind of have this to a degree, where it's like, I don't like talking about myself, but I also have a podcast.
right, exactly.
Come to grips with that one. I don't like attention, but I also have a podcast.
Yeah, but we don't do it for attention. Though.
No,
It's like Welcome Home doesn't do it for money. They're
Right, we
not
do
like
it for
trying
the
to get tons and
community
tons
and-
of cash.
because we had shit we had to say.
There is like that added bonus though. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like it has a perk that's a side effect of. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Like they make money. That's great.
Right.
They're not in it for the money.
Yeah.
Same for us. What was it? Your example just now? It's like
Attention.
yeah, we get the attention. We didn't know we wanted it or needed it, but we
Right.
get it.
Right. Well, and a different kind of attention too, because like I said, it's not parasocial.
No.
It's like we know these people intimately and they know us intimately.
Yeah.
Like we threw a birthday party
We
for
did.
a friend on stream and it was
It was
fantastic.
really good. That was
we planned the
one of
whole
my favorite
shebang and it was
lives.
amazing.
we did a great.
That
live
was such
day.
a fun time too.
Hit us up if you guys want to celebrate stuff ever. By the way.
Yeah.
So,
Today
like-
we're celebrating something. Can I call you out?
Can we call him out for both though?
He
'Cause
literally goes, "Yeah, sure."
could we do both? There's two
Both?
things to celebrate.
Yeah.
So like I think they're both worth mentioning.
Okay. You do your
No,
one.
this is on you.
This is on me.
You're
What are
telling.
the two? I know one.
You can't think of another thing?
Well, his present to himself.
Why did he get that present to himself?
Well, I knew that. That's the thing.
Oh, what about the other thing that you're doing today?
That's the same thing, dear.
They're the same thing?
Yeah, birthday,
Yeah.
but a different kind of birthday. It's his 1 year sober anniversary tomorrow.
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 So we can't get shit faced. Like I do at every birthday party.
I had a dream that you brought me wine. By the way,
From a Gobret?
I had a dream that you just like walked in with a bottle of wine and handed it to me.
It was a test. He was testing
And I
in the
was like,
dream.
Oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
He's like, in your dreams, he's like, how does she really feel?
good luck.
There's booze. What you
And I
gonna
was
do
just
with
like,
it?
I don't know. I was like, where did you get this? Why did you buy this? What's going on?
That's cool though.
Yeah.
That's definitely worth celebrating.
Yes. And he treated himself and he got a new...
Is it okay if I
Pretty-
post pictures of like not yours specifically, but like what it is? Because
Yeah.
it looks cool.
Oh, it's very cool.
I
Pictures
love the
don't do it
design.
justice at all. But he got a new motorcycle. And we went riding yesterday and that was really fun.
It
We went
reminds
to the
me
farmer's
of
market.
like the difference in because I relate to boats, right?
You need to see it in person.
I do, but like in boat term, like power wise,
Yeah.
there you never really got to experience the old Four Winds before Bappa
Yeah.
got the new motor that we
No.
used. That was faster than the Malibus out there. Like
Because the Malibu was crazy.
we could be the Malibu because
I
there
really
was
liked
race day.
getting
They would do it
on-
for Grotto Week. They would do
Really?
the
The
there was-
motorboats
there
race?
was motorboat races.
Oh, I totally was not paying
And
attention.
you know, everyone would get out there and do it. And I did it with Dad one year, and we won.
Nice.
And we just in this old Four Winds, but like the power jump is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like you go from okay, it does the thing
Yeah.
to holy god.
He almost lost me a couple times because he was like, there was that thing. It hits bumps like it's gonna fall through the fucking pavement. It is something else. And then the
No
other
shocks?
thing was, I'm just in the back. The shocks only apply to the
middle, yeah,
the
middle front.
middle part. And then he almost lost my ass because he was like, "Oh, a yellow light," and didn't warn me. And I can't see anything around him, so I didn't know what was happening until I almost went off backwards. That
It
was
reminds
fun.
me of horseback riding. That's all.
Oh my god! Oh, and then I had a moment. I had a idiot brain moment because we were on our way home, and we pulled into Yale, and we were under 40 for the first time since we'd been like running around.
Right.
And my brain looks over at the sidewalk, looks at my husband, and goes, "Bail out!" And I just had to like sit there and laugh at myself because I was like, "What the fuck was that? Bail out! Just jump off the bike real quick." Yeah, glad I didn't do that. Thanks, brain. Good job. What are you writing down over there?
Editing notes.
Oh, are you chopping things up? Oh, for putting in the pictures. Yeah. I just know the pictures don't do it justice. It's huge.
What's
First
cool
of
is
all.
you can look up the paint jobs on the website.
Yeah.
So I can see the version that he got.
Oh, and he
like
likes
in-
unicorns, so
Everyone likes a good unicorn. What are you talking about?
he has so many unicorns, though.
Yeah, collection.
This man has a collection of collections of collections of unicorns.
Yeah.
Yep. He's over there just smiling away.
Wouldn't you?
At
Jeez.
least you're cute.
At least, yeah, it sucks that you have all that really cool shit. I
Well,
hate that you enjoy
okay,
your things.
But again, like,
I know.
I don't stuff.
I know you don't stuff.
And so it's a very foreign concept for him to be like, I want stuff, but also I want the rarest, coolest, most expensive stuff. Please.
I don't.
And
I
I'm
feel
like,
like it's unfair to say it has to do with rarity.
Yes,
it just happens that
yes,
all the
it
unicorns
does.
are rare. Yeah, no, he just knows
that's
good
what
things.
makes it a unicorn.
Nah, that's not
Is
it.
the
It's cool
rarity.
factor. It's gotta be how cool it is.
No. What the dealer said it's the only one he's seen in how many years?
Ever.
Well, yeah, ever, but like
Yeah,
30 years.
30 years.
There
he
you
never
go.
saw
Yeah.
one.
So
Like it.
unicorn. He wants unicorn, and as soon as he finds a unicorn,
That's
he's like on the hunt.
It's not explicitly that though. Otherwise, you would have like the rarest penny or the rarest nickel.
it's not
or
like the rarest, of everything.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
Just he
Unicorns
likes
just
the
happen to be very
stuff,
rare.
And then he's like, I could get the stuff, or I
Yeah.
could get the coolest stuff.
Exactly. That's
And
what
he
I was
wants
saying.
the
I
coolest
literally use the word cool.
Okay.
I'm just saying it. You have to like. It sucks that those are entangled together because it's. There are things that I've seen him get that are really cool,
That are not.
and he's gotten
expensive?
for the coolest factor. That's not the rarest of those things.
Oh, okay.
It's the one that fits him the best.
Yeah. But also add rarity. 'cause
Yeah, rarity is part
that's
of
a
it.
plus.
It's
But that
because
just might be like
he's
bipolar
just built
brain.
different. So he needs his things to be a
also
bit
think
different.
It's a bipolar trait.
You're bipolar. Shut up.
I'm not bipolar, actually.
You are.
Am I?
I think by the transitive rule, yes.
Oh, I was like, wait, are you going to tell me something about me that I don't know? Let's go.
No, it's transitive. It's
Well,
because you're overwhelmed
I've got a
right
contact bipolar.
now. You are surrounded by it right
I
now. Is
am.
what I'm saying.
There's bipolar bears everywhere.
There are. And
Yeah.
most of the people in Fantastic Beings are also bipolar bears.
But you're kind of the same way, right? Like,
Depends.
or like the good deal thing.
I
Are you a sucker for a good deal, or is that Jen?
no, it's like, and there's like a hierarchy, right? So like
Yeah.
there's things that I'm into, and then if I can get a good deal on it,
Yeah.
that's almost a deciding factor, but it still has to be something that I won't regret later.
That's me. 'Cause
That's I'm
everything
always
runs
balancing it to
through-
like there are other ways to do this, other ways to gain this. There's things I can
Literally.
do later. Like,
Oh, yeah. Everything runs through a am I going to regret it filter.
but it is a deciding factor, right? Like
Yes.
if it's a deal, then I'm more inclined to go for it. I'll be like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like it'd be kind of weird to not take advantage of it. I don't do that as like the sole thing where it's like that's on sale and I'm not ever going to be able to buy it for that price again. I have to do it.
That's him. He's very much that way. He's like, I didn't actually need this thing, but it's on the most sale it's ever going to sale, and I bought it because of its sale status.
It is more of a Jen thing.
And you're like, please, God,
Because
stop.
there'll be times when we'll get like our tax return and we do like
Yeah.
the computer upgrade for
yeah,
everybody.
Yeah,
And Jen will pick out things that I wouldn't have picked out
yeah.
because
Right.
they're like, it's like that's a lot. She's like, but it's on sale for a good deal. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still more expensive than if I buy this other one.
Right, exactly. Where
I'd rather
my
have-
brain is
but-
like, it's kind of like gambling, where people are like, I won, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, you actually lost money.
Right.
But you feel like you won. But
Right,
also you
right.
still lost money.
hmm
I don't know. But I'm also not a stuff person.
No, you're not.
I was like, my whole life was hand-me-downs. So I didn't ever have like things that I
Mhm.
was like attached to necessarily, or that I found valuable per se.
Had a weird connection just now.
Huh, go for it.
The things that I'm into that I like will invest in.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really an item person either.
Right.
Except for certain things. But the
Yeah.
things are versions of gifts that I've been given by people that I appreciated.
Huh.
The computer thing is totally a Bappa thing. Bappa bought me my
That's
first
so
computer
interesting.
and I was blown
I
away
think
by
it's
that.
also a special interest thing.
Yeah, but he sparked the interest.
Yes.
And then like laptops and stuff that I would need to travel.
Right.
Like that was so like computer stuff I'm about. It
Yeah.
works too with like games. I wasn't really into
Interesting.
certain things in games until it was given to me and then I felt obligated to get into it and then I actually got into it.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
See, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm built for experiences.
That's what I'm about too. I like that.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me. It's gaining an experience.
Right. Because
Yeah.
for me, even if I were to get something expensive, I would feel guilty about getting the
Now, see-
expensive thing or spending that money on myself.
My bipolar ass takes that and uses that against it. I think that's more of a deciding factor.
You're
then-
like, I'm gonna be guilty.
Well, that it's like, let's say that there's like a card break.
Yeah.
And like someone that I know joins it, right?
Yeah.
That has like doesn't normally join in. I'm like, oh, I want to be there when they do the thing. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like that experience is what I want,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
That'll override a lot of things.
Right.
That's
right.
pretty up
it's
there.
not the product, it's the placement. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. That's how I am about like art.
Hmm.
Because I don't know what to do with all the stuff that I've made. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm super proud of all my pieces. It's like I really
Right.
enjoyed the process of making these things
Yeah.
and exploring something and getting to play with different mediums and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And so now my husband, he knows very well. He knows very well these days. So last year, and I think again this year, we're going to go to Cave of the Winds for our anniversary.
Oh, you're gonna do that again?
Because I was like, honey, I want to go caving again.
Do you want to do like the more advanced cave?
I'm hoping that they have one. Because I don't know that there is a more advanced. They were talking
There
about...
might just be a different one,
that
like a
would be
different
cool.
system, so that you
Because they
can.
were talking about... Because they'd been exploring some new places that they wanted to open up to the public.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to
get
get a
permits and
9-hour
stuff.
one.
Oh.
Going. I don't know if it happened or if it's even
Dude,
possible.
a 9 hour?
But
So
that would be
3.5,
amazing.
4.5 hours in.
Yes.
And so then the goal would, oh, dude, that far in, you could find some cool shit.
Yeah.
I watched so much Spelunking content.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did.
I love it
and do.
because it freaks me out.
Yes.
I like-
There's the aspect of danger
Yeah.
that you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing that happened as a kid that I'm bitter as fuck about.
Aw.
My stepdad once met this guy, and he took him into a cave system, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that big a deal at the time. Like I was like, okay, it'd be fun for me to do because I'm small.
Right.
Like I could really do well.
Oh
in
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Especially then, I was a twig and I was so flexible, right? So like I would have been
Yes.
jello, just
Yes.
push him through it. And I liked taking the risks of doing stuff like that. Like kids
Yes.
was kind of uncharted part
Yeah.
of it. So
Oh yeah.
he did that, and then he came back and he explained how cool it was. The point of it is to get into. There's a chamber in that cave system
Yeah.
that is a giant geode. Not just like a little, like
Oh my
literally
God, the
a
room
giant
is a
geode.
That's
There were crystals that were like this
amazing.
big in this geode.
We need to find these.
And he told
caves.
me-
we need to find this.
And I
thing.
was like, oh, can I go? He's like, no, it's too dangerous.
oh, I don't care.
He's like, there was always the worry about oxygen. And I was like, yeah, but there are ways to find out about that. Like,
Yeah.
First
canary.
of
Take a canary.
all, well, you could just take matches and
Yeah,
light
I
a
know.
match, and then if it goes out, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Or you just send a child first, and if I die, I die. I didn't care at the time. I was like, I want to go to the geode.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Because I was heavy into crystal collecting then.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, because there are so many mines in the mountains behind my
Yeah.
mom's house where like all the gold mines
Yeah.
are connected with quartz. Like
Mhm.
a good mine will have lots of quartz with
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
the tailings of these abandoned mines just have these crystal clusters everywhere.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I would go out. It was like a 2-hour hike to one of them, and I would check the tailings and have fun and bring crystals
That's
home.
so cool.
And then I wanted to go to that so bad
Oh
though.
my God. Well, and caving is such a weird one because it is definitely a club. Like you got to know somebody who knows the place.
Oh yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
That's like there's a lot of things like
There's
that
a lot
in
of
Deming.
preservation. It's like you know the people who explore abandoned places?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can't just be like, "Oh, what's some abandoned place I can go to?"
Right.
I
You
mean,
know.
you can.
You
but
know, there are people
you
that have
to know
done
the
it
people
and they
they
liked
have
it.
to trust you
Yeah.
to not fuck up their favorite spot.
Oh yeah, no, there's so much of that in Deming because there's so
Yeah.
much exploring to do.
Yeah.
Like you're in the desert, and there have been battles
Yeah.
that happened in this valley, like like the part of the Mexican War where Pancho Villa got pushed back happened in Deming on his
Wow.
way back south.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. There's
That's
some cool shit up
crazy.
there. There's apparently an ancient cannon
Uh-huh.
that people have found, but they can't remember where,
Oh, that's cool.
and people keep trying to find it to like excavate it. And
Yeah. I
it's-
love that because I don't know.
But all of it's in the know. You have to know
Yeah.
the right person to show you where to go.
right.
And they won't tell you if you're not
hmm
like perfect.
I love the idea of all of that because the world is so small now.
Hmm.
Like there isn't any there's no frontier left, right? There's no
Right.
I'm gonna go explore some stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously people were living there when they were exploring those places, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's like there's no more open wilderness to go get lost in.
Right.
It feels that way. Like as a child, you crave that. You're like, I want to go explore things that people have never seen, or only some people have seen, or whatever it is.
I want really bad to do the scary one, like the forest cluster that is like the Rocky Mountain Forest area.
Yeah.
That's part of the 411, the group of like those people that keep disappearing.
Oh.
I want to go and like wilderness out there because there's so much uncharted
Yes.
in that area.
I do really like that.
So much uncharted. You could literally just go out there and get
You
lost.
could literally go live there and nobody would ever know about it. Yeah.
That's just you live there.
That sounds great. Can we run away from society and go live in uncharted woods? He's not
paying
listening.
attention, no.
It's fine.
Oh my god, it's like okay. Do you remember?
What? He's just choosing not to respond, he says.
Good. You remember? Okay, so last thing I want to talk about for you because we
Okay.
just did a thing that made me think of a thing I hate.
Oh.
Do you remember there was that TikToker that I told you says outlandish shit, but he always has the same setup for it. It's like he's sitting at a desk and he's doing a podcast.
Uh-huh.
But I'm pretty sure these are just bits. It's supposed to be funny, but it irks
Yeah.
me because he's so good at it. And it's like, it's the guy who goes, "Can I blow your mind?" So, the pyramids, right? They were built
here we go.
by Egyptians. Chris is leaving because we were talking about this earlier. Chris is always doing something. I think that's what pisses me off is that he's using my name. But it's always Chris is laughing because he knows what I'm about to say. Or, oh, Chris and I had this conversation. Or Chris is leaving because he doesn't. You know what I mean? but he always sneaks that in, and then he says
It's
something.
like what's Zifrank's co-editor guy?
Oh,
where he's always
yes.
like talking to the person who may not even exist.
Right.
Why can't I remember the name? Jerry.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so he does that, but then he'll say something so straight faced and so like crazy. Like it'll be like, oh yeah. This is a good example. This is the one I remember. He was like, how do birds fly? I want you to think about that for a second. They're small, right? And they can fly.
They can fly.
How does size relate to that? And he's like, I think gravity has affected the bird. Let's think about that for a second. The birds, back before Isaac Newton discovered gravity,
There was no gravity.
there might have been a different version of gravity. And then he'll pause and be like, pterodactyls, hundreds of pounds, but they could fly? How is that possible? Gravity was probably different back in the day. And like, it's like,
I mean,
you know what it is that bothers me about it? It's not the nonsense. It's not the Chris thing. It's that I know people will see that and not get the joke.
Yes.
They'll be like,
no way.
You're right.
That I think is why like the podcasting scene bothers me. Is there we go. Is that people really do say like the most inane shit.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I'm gonna blow your mind. I didn't even touch it that time. That wasn't me. Thank you. Sorry. They'll be like, oh well, you know fish. Did you know fish still need oxygen? And you're like,
Or the dude
What?
the dude cast where like the
Or
one
he
guy doesn't
pretends
know
he
anything.
doesn't know
Right.
something super common.
Yeah, there's always the
And
like,
they're like, you don't know about sopapillas? How do you not know about sopapillas? It's this. It's me. It's literally my electricity.
it is. We have to replace it. It's fine.
We have to replace my electricity. I need a new battery for my body.
All right. That's it. That's all she said.
Time to go.
This has been a long
We're
one.
wearing thin, yeah.
I'm not wearing
I don't
thin.
know when we
I could,
started.
I could
though.
keep going
That's
for a
the
long
thing.
time.
I
is the
really could
problem.
too. And let's not keep going though, because
You
it'll
got
never
stuff
end.
to do tonight. You got to rest before that. You gotta.
I got like an hour and a half.
Yeah. And this has been a long episode. So
Yep. Well, there you go. There's episode 1 of Chaos and Conversations.
hopefully it was chaotic and
It's pretty-
conversive.
Chaotic. I think we conversed a little bit.
Was
We
there
might
some
have.
of that?
Yeah, we might have conversed.
We might have fulfilled our 2 objectives. And I don't think we broke any rules.
What are the rules?
I'm not allowed to say the bird.
Bird.
The bird is the
Bird
word.
is the word.
Anyways,
I said
so
be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will chat at you next time. Bye.
bye.